It's going to ask me to pop in a title.
Okay.
What is a cool how-to title that we'd like to pop in?
How to scale your business organically with integrity.
Ooh, I love it.
Right?
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Are you from Australia?
From Germany originally.
Really? But you have like an Australian accent.
I've been around a lot of Australians, so maybe that's it.
I grew up there. You have a slight Australian accent.
That's so funny. I live in Kansas City, Missouri right now in the Midwest, and I'm moving to California.
Well, I know I'm in Cincinnati, right?
Oh, no, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. I was in St. Louis a couple months ago for Arte. You know the Arte, the Ed Milet, Andy Frisella thing. Do you know that?
Oh, I know Andy. Yeah, I know of Andy. I don't know.
Well, I went to their event in St. Louis in November.
Cool. How was that?
It was great. A lot of really big workout guys. They do 75 hard. You know that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've tried it. I didn't get very far. How about you?
I don't know if I need to do that. I think what I'm doing is hard enough, and I don't need extra hardship.
How to scale your business with integrity. Is that what we've said?
How to scale your business organically, because I'm going to talk about organic scaling, right? You're going to ask me questions about that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And also organic is conscious, because organic eating.
I like that metaphor.
Right.
Let's do this.
I do eat a lot of organic, so it's all perfect. Okay. Need some water.
What is the preferred way to pronounce your name?
Okay, so it's Jeanne. Look, think of Jaja and add an N, Jeanne.
Jeanne.
Jeanne, that's it.
Jeanne, we're live. Welcome to the Conscious Entrepreneur Community.
Well, thank you, Miro. Nice to be on this show with you.
Love that. I'm so grateful to connect with you. As soon as we're connected, I knew we'd be aligned on a lot of levels. And today we're speaking of how to organically scale your business with integrity, yes?
Yes, always.
Love it. Immediately, I'm having some things coming through. So let me make sure I turn off my notifications. And I'd love to share with our audience. I'm so excited and grateful that you're here, first of all. And please share with our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do for people.
Okay, so it's Jeanne Omlor, and thank you for asking how to pronounce it. I am a business profit strategist and coach, and I work with coaches, consultants, experts, and certain service providers to scale their businesses online past 30K per month without spending a dime on ads yet, with integrity.
Beautiful. I want to snap my fingers to that. I love all of that. So you and I are jamming on. I have so many questions for you. I think the biggest thing around scaling organically is really integrity. So can you talk to me a little bit more, like who you love working with, and then what are the challenges you're experiencing with the integrity piece? Tell me more about that.
Okay, first of all, it's all over my branding. I really only want to work with trailblazers and visionaries, because the conscious entrepreneur, and I don't mean they have to have some organic brand or saving the world. I think conscious capitalism and conscious business is really about people that care. And it's really not that woo-woo or like exclusive or, bandwagony. To me, it's just very, very simple. It's people that care, that don't lie about their business, do not lose credibility. I was thinking about that today. People lose credibility a lot, and they're not even seeing how they're doing it. So it's about being credible, being honest about what you do, but not falling into that trap of, oh, well, if I'm a conscious entrepreneur, that means I have to be poor. So that goes, it goes into, it's not like you're conscious, so you're poor. Because, Richard Branson, I would say, is a pretty conscious entrepreneur, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Totally.
Right, at least certainly not poor. Because being a conscious entrepreneur does not mean you're poor. It means you're conscious and you can actually make more impact, for want of a better word, do better stuff. So for me, my mission is to find these visionaries, these trailblazers, and that could just mean somebody that does a good job, because that's a visionary nowadays. And then my raison d'être, we say in French, my reason for being is I wake up in the morning and I'm like, gosh, I'm a catalyst for these people that I am helping help other people, now I have now compounded my mission and my good in this world without being, like sickeningly, I don't know, twee or trite. I mean, I really feel when you wake up in the morning, you're going to do a better job if you feel like your reach and your reason is amplified. So that's what I mean by integrity and being conscious.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like I do manifestation, John, and one of the things that I called in 2019 that I couldn't check off in 2019 was like integrity. It was like, and I was like, why is that? So I had to look at it. And I know whenever you are manifesting something and it's not coming, that, there's a block. So I had to sit down with myself and work through my process. And I realized that I didn't have a definition for integrity. Like I didn't know what it meant. So,
wow.
and so
you and I need to talk.
Well, since then I've resolved it, and I
That's good.
And so that's why I like to ask different people what are their definitions of integrity, and I'm going to invite everybody watching to ask themselves that.
Right.
And so what it came down to me is like values, living a life in accordance to your values, your words, your actions, and your beliefs. Sort of your values. I'm matching.
Right. Alignment. I mean, which is used. All these words are such catchphrases. So I'm always trying to find a new word for it. But that it's congruent. Right. That you don't feel like you're being a complete hypocrite. Because I think somewhere along the line, everybody's kind of a hypocrite somewhere, right? But I think there was a saying, just whatever you're doing, be a good one. So if you're a coach, be a good coach. If you're a parent, be a good parent. If you have a religion, be a good XYZ. So I think that some famous person said that, whatever you are, be a good one. So it's so simple. And I thought, wow, okay, I'm going to look through everything I'm doing. Am I being a good one? And maybe you're not a good one, but at least you're trying and you're aware that you're trying to get to the path of being a good something, right? Because living a life where you're not a good XYZ, how can you continue like that? I mean, that would be, it's a killer. It's a morale killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think there are a very of the people who say that they are the best. It's good to be the best and aspire to be the greatest. But if you define yourself at being at 10 out of 10, that gives you no room to grow anywhere, right?
Impossible. Yeah, it's impossible. I mean, that's just a lack of, unless you are the best, person, sports person or whatever. But I think that it doesn't even matter if you're the best. It matters that you're as good as you can be, that you're doing your best. I think that's what matters.
Yeah. So I think this is a fascinating subject. We can jam on this forever. But so when we talk about your visionaries, right? What are typically kind of the pain points or the problem that they're experiencing before joining you and getting support from you?
Well, I feel like people really struggle with who they want to serve, like their avatar. It's a big struggle, like who? Because when you're looking at it when you don't have an outside POV, it's very hard to work on your own stuff, right? It's really hard to work on your own stuff. So they don't have this outside view. And for me, it's very clear because I'm an outside point of view. And sometimes it takes a little bit of talking and working that out with them. But I think when somebody goes in and says, here's my POV, this is what I know is working in the marketplace, we need to tweak this a little bit. It's kind of a relief when I finally, they're like, wow, I never would have thought. And there's all this, there's this pain of attachment. They're attached to the idea of what they thought they wanted to do, even though it's not working. So, I'm gentle with them. Like, you might not like this, and I know you're attached to that idea, but it's never going to work. That offer is never going to work because you're not messaging your avatar for that. They don't need it. And I know you're attached, but you're never going to make any money with that. And really the idea of a business, unless you're a charity, and I was thinking about this last night a lot. I thought, you know what? If you are a charity, then go file for a charity. It's a 401c, I forget what you call it, but the charity instead of an LLC. But if you're an LLC, you aren't a charity. Or if you're a corporation, you are not a charity. So if you really want to be a charity, folks, I love it. Go get a charity. Be a charity. But don't be a charity while you're actually not. See, that's the problem. That's the lack of congruence, Yes. When I tell people this, they're like, oh, you're right. If you want to be a charity, let's be a good charity. Let's actually go for it. The not-for-profit. Good. But, don't have your foot in one camp and the other where you're like, okay, I want to make money, but, be clear. So I think the clarity on the offer and who they're serving and how to message them. And I talked about this in a post today on my timeline, how to be catnip for your avatar. Because being catnip, and there is no shame in marketing properly. I think there's also this sort of shame of, there is a shame of, oh, I'm marketing now. No, you're helping people. If I know that I am catnip for my avatar, and they're going to come to me and they're going to know exactly what I'm going to do for them, and I will help them, all the better. I'm going to change their life, and I'm going to do it well. But this thing of half doing stuff because it feels like you're charitable or virtuous because you're not a marketer, but yet you want to be, there's something wrong with that, Miro. Would you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. And
you know what I mean?
I totally want to just like reflect like what you're saying, as I see it so many times. People are not clear on their avatar. And then I think too, there's like the relationship they have with money and sales. They feel like they need to be giving and self-sacrificing and being a martyr in order to be significant or worthy. And it's actually not of service to themselves and the world and their ideal clients to like play small. And so like you really want to have a cash cow business that's strategically aligned with a powerful avatar. And then, honestly too, I think, a lot of people read like Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I'm sure you're aware of it.
Of course.
And he has this sequence, right? Like you're employee, and then you're self-employed or a specialist. And then you go over and exit the time for money trap, and you have a scalable business, and you become an investor. And I think there's a missing piece in that. I believe that there's a natural evolution to become a philanthropist, because I think that we all actually want to give more. Not that we have to, because it's okay to be it's okay to be wealthy. It's okay to get paid. And those things are not bad for the world. And from that place, we can give so abundantly. I was at an event, people do house builds in Mexico where they like buy a house, build it from scratch, do volunteer work, and build homes for families that otherwise wouldn't have a chance. I personally, want to create a scholarship fund for kids who don't have access to education and stuff like that. And in doing that, my mom was like a psychotherapist. She was like the martyr, the one that helped refugees and like people who will never be able to pay anything. And it was, I love her. Thanks, Mom. And at the same time, like we didn't always know where to live. We didn't know where we were coming from. And that's one way to live. Like, why not have a couple?
I love it. I mean, I used to live like that. I lived for years without a dime, but it was a choice. I was a real bohemian type. I lived in Paris for 6 years. Sometimes I had 3 francs to buy a baguette. My face was gray because I was malnourished. I'm malnourished, because I chose to live that way. I thought it was sort of interesting and an experiment in a way. I thought, how can I live with nothing? I'm a real minimalist, actually. And I don't like a lot of objects. And I always wear, like, I have several of these black turtleneckes because I'm into minimalist dressing as well. So there's more to this. I'm just saying I've experienced true poverty. I could have gone home and lived with my parents, but I didn't. I was 20 something and I stayed in Paris, and I thought, no, I'm going to experience this. But then it went into sort of like a virtuous kind of like starving artist story, which was not good. But I experienced that. So I know what it is to have nothing and to literally have 3 francs and go buy a baguette. It's not fun, and I thought, why would I want to live like this? I don't have to, right? Yeah. But it was good for me just to experiment. So no, I see what you're saying, but if you're an entrepreneur, okay, you're saying I'm an entrepreneur, but then it's like, well, it's okay to be poor. Well, then don't be an entrepreneur because you're a bad one, right? Go work for a charity. So the problem is one foot in one camp and one foot in the other, and then sort of passing it off like, well, I'm a conscious blah, blah, blah. No, you're just scared. You don't know how to get to the next level. So then there's all this sort of excuse making. No offense to people. I think it's just a human thing. I did it for a while. And then it's kind of like, well, I don't really want the answers. It's because it's money story. It really is. A lot of it is money story. And money story usually comes from not knowing your worth or not. And I certainly had a huge money story. And the day that I read Catherine Ponder's Open Your Mind Prosperity, and I was in a laundromat in New York, and it dawned on me that the reason why I didn't have money is because I did not believe I was worthy. I cried. Cried while I was watching the washing machine turn around. I'll never forget. I actually sat down with the book and I sobbed because I realized what I was doing. And it wasn't just the social experiment, Humero. That was part of it. I thought, I don't think I'm worthy. Wow, what does that say about me? And then I got angry and I went off and I got a fantastic job like 3 days later because I was now angry at myself, not at people. I was like, what am I doing? I'm missing. So I went off and I was like, that's it. I got a great 6-figure job. Never, because I just decided. So a lot of this, folks, is just deciding what you want. Stop making excuses, just do it. Like I love Richard Branson. Just do it. He's always saying that. I love it.
Dude, just preach. Like this is my jam. I love what you're saying.
I get all passionate about this.
Yeah, it's worthiness, and anybody watching right now, if you look around in your life, your career, your relationships, it's a reflection of your worthiness. Whatever you think you're worthy of. And then standards, you get to raise your standards beyond what's currently happening, because you always fall to your level of your standards. It's not your highest intentions that you rise to. You fall to your levels and what you think you're worthy of. And so, fantastic. So I'm pretty sure you've your own breakthrough is incredible. But I want to point out that you're a parent too, right? Like you're a mother.
Right.
So talk to me about that experience, because that's must.
Well, again, you know what? It's funny that you have expectations in life, and it's rarely exactly what you expect, right? You want to have positive expectations and expect the best. I have this thing, expect the best. But life happens. And so when people go, well, I expect the best and I do these affirmations, but things just didn't turn out, because that's life, right? Grow up, right? So yes, expect the best. But then don't go crying when it's like, well, I've been doing these affirmations for years, Jeanne. Well, stuff happens. Maybe things would have been worse if you weren't doing the affirmations, or maybe you weren't doing them properly. But also affirmations, I believe, on their own. I mean, there's other stuff you have to do, right? So I'm a single mom of 2 kids, 2 girls. And I started my business with nothing, not a dime. I was separated and I had been taking care of my kids. I was a very involved, called attachment parent. And I didn't expect that I was going to be on my own. That just, happened. And I thought, wow, I've got to pivot now, and I did. And I got certified at night. I was with my 1-year-old who never slept and my 4-year-old. And I just thought, okay, let's work this out. I'm working with my kids. I'm taking care of them. When am I going to build a business? And I thought the only way this is going to happen is at night. So I worked from 7 till midnight for about 2 years. I did not watch a show in 2 years, like no entertainment. I thought this is never going to happen. I also coach a lot on grit, and I talk, out in the real world about grit. It's one of my things. And, and I'm not saying I'm the grittiest person in the world, because there's worse, but I'm just saying my business never would have happened. I got to 6 figures working 20 hours a week, 25, while I was taking care of my kids, while I was homeschooling them as well at one point, so if I can do this while and not sleeping, because, there's the sleep deprivation when you're a single parent, because there is no relief in New York City, carrying my kids up and down subways, just saying, folks, you're saying things are hard. And again, I'm not saying that my story is the hardest, but it was pretty hard. And I started from nothing. I got certified at night, and I was getting clients around the world while I was just sitting at home in my pajamas, because I couldn't really get out that much to network at that point either, because I had the 2 kids. So I'm just saying, when you want to do something, and I had to, and you decide, I knew I would just be a great coach, because I sort of coached I was a filmmaker, so I coached actors, and I feel like I coached all my life. And I was an executive recruiter on Wall Street, so you're just sort of coaching those investment bankers about their careers. So, anybody else would have thought, how are you going to make, people had said to me, how are you going to make that happen? I said, I will. How are you going to make that happen? And then a year later, wow, that just happened by magic. No, it was not magic at all, but they don't see you. And it's like, wow, how did you do this? Well, a lot of work and working from 7 till midnight every day. So, and then of course, waking up 4 times a night to feed my kid. So that's my story. And again, I just want to stress, I don't think that my story is the hardest. There are way harder stories, but in our lives, in our sort of, middle class, that's pretty hard, right? It's standard hard,
Yeah, it's all relative, and
right.
We're not here to make anybody's experience less or more than anyone else. Everybody has their own experiences, and it's still comparing. it's so powerful what you're saying. I can tell that you've experienced some things, and I did too. And then I think the key that I'm proud of in my life, and I see it in you, is not sort of becoming a bitter person because of hardship. Like still going out in the world and living your purpose and being joyful and having fun, and lighting up, you know, and lighting up others. Like ultimately,
Yeah.
like, you know, we just had Kobe Bryant. Like he passed away, but like we all don't know we all don't know when it happens for us. But
well, we don't. We don't know. Do you know what? I hear something interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
I count the days that I have left in my life if all goes well, because you know Jesse Itzler talks about that. I just saw him speak in live, and I thought that is so me. He counts the summers he has left.
Wait,
because
Jesse
you know Jesse Itzler.
Oh, okay.
The one that had that. He had the seal come and live at his home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that guy. He's amazing. But that's that's awareness that you only have a certain amount of days. Or you don't know when you're going to go either. But there's like, you can actually go online and you can sort of estimate if all goes well, you know, how many days. I have about 12,000 days, more or less, if all goes well and I die a natural death. 12,000 days, Miro, that's not that much. So I'm very conscious every day. I'm like, well, wait a minute. And people are like, that is morbid, Jeanne. No, it's not. It's reality. What is stupid is to think you're going to live forever and squander your time. So that's how hardcore I am about also productivity and time. I'm very jealous of my time. So anyway, so Miro, did you want to talk more about like organic marketing? Because I think that was one of the titles that I want to give them what they want, right?
Yeah. So let's give them what they want. So what's the process? How do you help people and experts and coaches reach that 30K month organically?
Okay, so first of all, it's without spending a dime on ads. And I just really want to talk about that. There is this myth that you have to get a funnel and you're a loser if you don't have a funnel and run ads to it. Okay, well, things changed a lot with Facebook. And 5-6 years ago, it was much easier to get that kind of traffic. Now running traffic to a cold funnel is extremely hard and very expensive. So what I have figured out is organic ways with Facebook and LinkedIn to get free social advertising. Okay, so, and you're aware of this, I'm sure, as well. So there's certain ways where you don't have to put all that ad spend, which you could do ad spend later on, but really I think people have to be at 30K before they should be doing any ads. And I'm kind of having this challenge now with me of how far can I go without ads? You know, I test ads a lot. I call them humble ads. I'm designing these low-cost ads for my clients. So I'm testing those a lot, but I'm like, wait a minute, how long can I hold off to prove to people how much you can do without doing the whole funnel thing? So basically it's Facebook and LinkedIn, and you can do it on Instagram. I'm just really good at the Facebook and the LinkedIn, is helping people to get clients organically by conversations. It's all about conversations and authority and influence on these platforms.
Absolutely love that. I just want to validate the approach because I'm doing this organically, and one of my mentors, Andrew, he made I think last year, about 6 months ago, he made $500,000 organically without ads, and then he filled up a live event with 200 seats, and then made $800,000 at the event.
That's good. That's not shabby.
And so like that's just goes to show what's possible. So I'm a big believer in this approach.
Right.
So totally. And so what is the process that you walk your clients through when they get started with you?
Okay, first of all, we talked about this at the beginning. First of all, we need to be crystal clear on their offer and on their avatar. And I will work back and forth until they are so just digging in to their offer that they're just like, wow, I so believe in my offer and it's so aligned. And because that is when you can sell something. And it is selling, folks. Come on. You're selling your stuff. If you're going to call it anything other than selling, do something else. Okay. So that's the other thing. So, and then when you are so clear and it's so delicious and you're marketing your simple branding, I call it, now I help them also with something. I used to be a designer, actually. I have a degree in design. That was my first career, actually. I'm really good at keying this in. I call it Jeanne's 5-minute branding. 5-minute branding. Literally, I can go in and I'm really good at seeing what's not working. We take a swipe, and sometimes people are out of the gate 5 minutes later, literally. Go fix that up. We're going to change the word, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better already. That's the first thing, is that confidence. And if we need to message your market a bit back and forth to test it, we will. Okay, so that is key. And then from there, it's really about like how to control the frame. I talk a lot about this, controlling your frame, you know, of your authority. Movie stars do this, rock stars do this, and you need to learn how to do this online, is control your frame. Okay, so that's really important. So I go a lot into that. And then just your messaging, that your messaging is not slimy, it's not spammy, it's showing your authority, it's showing people actually what you do, and having conversations with people that you are interested in. Because the other thing is, if you're going to do this and it's just sell, 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 and you don't have a genuine interest in other human beings, those people feel it.
Totally.
So folks, if you don't have a genuine curiosity and interest in the people you're speaking to, go develop that, please. Figure out how to develop that.
Yes,
you know?
totally.
There's a way. Be interested and curious. And you know what? I'll tell you, in life in general, the people that I love hanging out with the most are the ones that have deep curiosity about art, about history, about stuff. These are magnetic people. You want to magnetize people? Be interested in them.
Totally.
Really interested.
Always
really interested
in
their business, how you can help them. I ask a lot of questions. People go, wow, you ask a lot of questions. I'm like, yes, I'm interested. I want to know, what are you doing? So it's really about that magnetism and creating a charismatic brand. I mean, really low cost brand, organic, grassroots, nitty gritty brand. It is a brand, folks. It's not, I don't mean you have to go pay a brander. It's a brand. Honor that. Okay. Yeah. So, there's that, and then it's authentic communication, raw authenticity, and not this fakey thing online. Somebody said to me, you know, I watched one of your videos, and he said it was so clumsy. You're in IKEA, you didn't have your earphones, and he goes, it was so like really not that professional, which is kind of funny because I'm sort of professional, you know. But what I mean is, I think you should do things imperfectly. I think people love that. They love it because it's like, they're like, oh, she's like me. She forgot. I did forget my earphones. I'm like, I'm doing it anyway. This whole thing of it has to be perfect, that is a repellent, you know? So the fact that I was so imperfect and that was like so attractive to this guy, he goes, that raw, clumsy authenticity, he goes, I loved it. And I'm like, great, I'm doing a good job, right? Absolutely. So this thing of being slick is not helping you people. Nobody wants that.
It doesn't help with the congruence, right? Because people create this persona online, and then at home they're a completely different person, and they wonder why they don't have confidence in enrolling people in their offers, because they're not actually living the life that they're promising. They're not
and then they loathe themselves because they feel like a fake. There's somebody in your background, love it. So totally perfect. There you go. I love it. We should say hello. Is that your dad?
No, this is a community sort of.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Every once in a while somebody comes in.
Right. So there's that, but then there is, you've got to make the offer, folks. You know, you don't just create this beautiful thing and then you don't make the offer. You're a business person. You got to learn how to make authentic offers without feeling like, oh, I'm going to sell something. Yes, of course you're going to sell something because you are a business person. Yeah. Business people.
And you should, like, if you believe in your mission and you have a gift to share, then like the transaction is where the transformation begins, right? You've got to give people an opportunity to say yes to something, and for that you have to ask them, right?
Exactly. You got to give them a choice of yes or no if they're not presented with an opportunity. Now, I feel that like if people work with me, that's going to sound awful, okay? But I'm just going to put it out there. Great. I feel they're lucky. Yeah. You know why? Because I know I'm going to take care of them. I know that. And I know a lot of people don't take care of people. I am a caretaker. I'm like the mother. Whenever I was like in plays, I was an actress. I was always the mother. They always came to me with their problems and they always made me the manager. I'm like, how come they said, because you're the mom. Now I am a mom. Like, I'm the mom. But I've always kind of been the mom. I want to take care of people. What's your problem? You know, let's help you. So that's being a servant leader, because I naturally am. And you are too, Miro, from what you told me. So I feel that I've saved them, maybe from working with somebody who's not got integrity and will just sell them and abandon them. I've seen this a lot. So I feel like I'm saving people from perhaps another program where they won't be treated as nicely.
So key. And honestly, just because you just mentioned that curiosity, I want to give people an opportunity right now. Like if you are watching this and you are jamming with this, if you have questions, this is the opportunity to ask questions to Jean directly. Anything that you like, we'll make sure that we answer all your questions in the comments, and I'll scroll through to make sure if you comment right now that we'll get your questions answered before we hop off. I just want to make sure that people have an opportunity to engage with us here. And if you are tuning in right now, just drop a hashtag live. And if you are watching the replay, say hashtag future, because you're watching from the future. Let us know what the future is like. So cool. So with all of that said, there's so much gold and so many nuggets in what you just dropped here. So I'm really just, thank you for sharing that. To like really encapsulate everything, you know, stories I think are a powerful tool. Can you tell us maybe a story of someone that you work with that has gone through the roller coaster of not being clear on their niche, not being clear on their branding, and just what kind of objections or problems they were having in working with you, and then making the decision and like what their life has become afterwards? Can you kind of walk me through that journey?
Okay, so you want me to tell you about somebody that maybe wasn't going to work with me and then did, and then what happened?
Yeah, like anybody who's feeling kind of reluctant about, oh, I don't know if for me or
okay, so I have a client who basically was just wanting to do something other than build websites, because he said this is not, he's kind of a genius. And I saw that. I saw this guy was a visionary. I thought, this guy is so smart and he's building websites and he should be doing more. And so we got on a first call and he said, wow. And it was just like, we met cold, like somewhere. And he said, who are you? And he didn't know who I was. And he said, this is so interesting. We're talking even. I said, look, what are you doing? What do you want to do? Because well, I want to make more money. And I feel like I have something and I don't know what it is. And I said, well, I could help you create that. So this was a real starting from scratch. And he said, okay. He said, give me some ideas. I said, well, I mean, you're doing the websites. You really should be doing you could be doing some more consulting kind of thing and more IT, because he's kind of an IT genius. And he said, yeah, I am really good at IT. He goes, I said, you're kind of a genius. And he goes, I kind of am. Oh, wow, that's great. I love it. I said, okay. So you know you could be leveraging that and making more money than tinkering with websites. He goes, yeah. He goes, well, so you sure? I said, yeah, it's going to take a lot of work, but bear with me. He goes, no, I see that. Okay. We went back and forth and back, and it was painful, and back and forth. And he goes, I see this is coming. And then, you know, he'd get lazy and I'd say, do the work. You got to do some research. And he's like, you're right. I do. I said, you need, genius, to go and do some research, because I'm not that easy. I mean, I'm easy to work with, but I call people out, you know, I'm like, and he goes, you're right. I am. I'm trying to make you do I said, you have to go do your research in your market. We went back and forth, and I tell you, when we nailed his offer, because we messaged people back and forth and asked questions, he now has a high ticket offer for automation. Okay. He has 3 contracts on the table in 1 week. One was like $11,000 and then working into perpetuity, you know, like he was crying on the phone when he figured that. He said, oh my gosh, we got it. Now this is someone that was like, what are you going to do for me? Okay. It wasn't a coach. It was just somebody that I saw possibility in. Okay. And I really helped him. And he was just so thankful. He said, oh my gosh, you changed my life, because this is the real clinch. He's in Poland. He's dealing in Poland with American money. He's the king of the world over there, because, you know, that money over there with our prices, that's changed his life. He's so grateful too. So that was a real success story of me. The guy believed. He goes, I believe you're, yep, okay. And then it was a big investment, you know, because Polish money. Totally. He said, this, I could buy a new car with this. And I said, I know. So now he is so grateful. He said, I never would be on this path in my life if you had not messaged me. So, you know,
so good.
Getting a message from someone, right?
Yeah, it's so inspirational that you share that. And I think it goes to show our conscious entrepreneurs, people watching, like when you go reach out to someone, like it makes a real difference in their life, even if they have resistance in the beginning, because they don't see what's possible for them that you may be seeing in them. So thank you so much for sharing that. I don't want to take too much more of your time, but if you have something to give to our audience or any calls to action, and I will make sure we'll go through the questions, but can you tell me about anything that you have to offer to the group?
Yeah, you know what I'd like to offer them? I'll offer them something out of my program. I'm really good at content, and I'm really good at churning out good content quickly. And I think a big pain with people and my clients as well is
Yep. Right.
they take so long writing content. They're like, oh, Jeanne, I don't. So I have it's called 3x3 endless content plan. And I'd be glad to give that training to your folks. I guess what they could do is they could comment endless and they get it. Is that a good idea?
That sounds like great. If you want endless content, just drop a hashtag endless and we'll
Right.
hook up with the content, guys.
Sure, absolutely.
Love that. That's so perfect. Thank you so much for your time. I was just tuning in. We have some engagement, but we can, come back to your questions after the live video and answer any questions in the comments. So thank you so much for showing up and sharing your integrity and your leadership and showing us some tools to make some money organically and make a better influence in the world for our visionary leaders. So again, big thanks to you. And if you have any questions, I recommend you reach out to Jeanne. Clearly she's...
Before we go, thanks to you for being yourself. You're a great guy. I love your energy, and that is why I did this interview. So for all the people listening, I don't do interviews every single day, but when Miro said, I said, absolutely. So that's what being a good guy, gets you, is people are magnetized to you, Miro. So God bless you. And you, everybody, you have a beautiful afternoon or morning or wherever you're listening. Okay, God bless.
Much love. Bye.
Bye.